Hello, this is Marcos Vargas, and I'm here to continue my copyright assignment using the Assure model. Now, the assignment that I'm going to have students do would be to create a PowerPoint. After the copyright assignment, it's to create a PowerPoint using the Assure model. Now, first, analyze learners. So my grade level is 8th grade, as I stated on the Microsoft Word document. And so in 8th grade, they learn a lot. They're state tested in history, they're state tested in science, they're state tested in math, and in reading. So they're state tested in the four core areas. So analyzing my learners by knowing their grade level, by knowing identifying the type of students that I'm going to have in my class, knowing which students are going to need more attention than others. Now, and knowing my student demographic. State standards and objectives. So very common in all, at least in the English language arts, TEKS is a research component in for having students create a research. So that is sort of what this assignment would be, to create a presentation on. I would give students an inquiry based presentation, sort of like if you wanted to do a history presentation, you could. If you wanted to do a science presentation, you could. If you wanted to do something on English, or if you want to do a math, you can. You just have to apply the copyright rules that we talked about. So you have to incorporate audio, you have to incorporate visuals, you have to incorporate video, you have to incorporate text, and you have to be familiar with the copyright laws that we talked about in the presentation. So the objective would be students are able to create a PowerPoint using copyright laws on their inquiry-based research project of choice. Now, selecting strategies and resources. In selecting strategies, I will be using both, student and teacher-centered. So it would be teacher. At first, I would give an example as a model, so students have something to go off of. That would be the direct instruction. And then it will be very student-centered, where students are using resources, technology, databases, using our library, using me as the librarian teaching them databases that they're allowed to use, proper credible sources, so forth, so on, going along with copyright issues. Those are the sources that they're going to be using, both teacher and student-centered strategies or learning strategies. Utilizing resources. Students are going to be utilizing technology in the library, whether it could be a desktop, whether it could be a Chromebook. I'm going to preview all the resources, prepare the resources for students, also prepare an environment in which students, 1, feel comfortable in asking questions, 2, feel comfortable enough to explore, and 3, feel empowered enough to do it individually and independently. Now, in preparing learners, I will give an introduction on overview of the lesson content. I'm giving rationale and tell them how the content relates to real-world applications, which is very important. Motivating statement that creates the need to know the content, and I would give cues directing attention to specific lessons, aspects of the lesson. So I will serve as a facilitator during students, while students are doing their own inquiry-based research model. Now, require learner participation. All students will be participating in creating this presentation, so it will be a requirement for them. And for the evaluate and revise, students will follow the rubric, which I have here. In this rubric, the criteria is the knowledge of copyright audio, video, and visuals text. So it's based on the ratings of 20 full marks, partial marks, and no marks. The presentation of the content, so the type of content that they put on their presentation, how well it was put together, the way they presented, they will be presenting them, and they will be reviewing their peers. So there is multiple components to this from the Assure model for the copyright for a total of 100 points. That is So again, to go over one more time, the assignment that I will do for my Assure model would be a inquiry-based research presentation in which students will select a topic that they would like using copyright laws, copyright rules, in order to demonstrate how well they understood copyright laws. Thank you very much.